Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into some amazing tips to help you improve your communication skills. You know, good communication is like a good dance. It's all about connection, give and take, and maybe a little bit of laughter along the way. Whether you're looking to ace that job interview, connect better with friends, or just become a more effective communicator, these tips are for you. So buckle up, get ready to take some notes, and let's get started on the journey to becoming communication masters. First things first, let's talk about active listening. Now I know what you're thinking. Listening? That doesn't sound very active, but trust me on this one, folks. Active listening is like the VIP ticket to better communication. It's about truly hearing what the other person is saying, and I mean really hearing them, not just waiting for your turn to talk. Think of it like this. You know how when you're telling a story, and you can just tell the other person is totally checked in, they're nodding along, their eyes are bright, they're asking questions, it just feels good, right? That's the power of active listening. When you give someone your full attention, you show them that you value what they have to say, and that builds a connection like nothing else. So ditch the distractions, put your phone on silent, unless you're watching this video, of course, and really tune in to what the other person is saying. You'll be amazed at the difference it makes. Next up, we're talking about empathy, which is a fancy way of saying putting yourself in someone else's shoes. You know those shoes, the ones that might be a little too tight or a little too worn out, or maybe even a completely different style than you'd ever wear. But those shoes carry someone else's story, their experiences, their feelings. Empathy is about trying to understand where the other person is coming from, even if you haven't walked every step in their shoes. It's about listening with your heart, not just your ears. And let me tell you, a little empathy goes a long way in building stronger relationships. It's like saying, hey, I see you, I hear you, and I get it. Now, empathy doesn't mean you have to agree with everything someone says. That's a whole other YouTube video. But it does mean approaching the conversation with an open mind and a willingness to try and see things from their perspective. You might be surprised at what you learn. Alright, moving on to tip number 3, be clear and concise. Now, I love a good long chat as much as the next person, but when it comes to effective communication, sometimes less is more. Think of it like ordering coffee. You wouldn't walk up to the barista and say, I'm feeling a little parched this morning and I was hoping for something warm and caffeinated but not too bitter, maybe with a hint of sweetness. You just say, I'll have a latte, please. The same goes for your communication. Get to the point. Use clear, simple language that everyone can understand. Avoid using jargon or technical terms that might confuse the other person. And please, for the love of all that is good, spare them the long, rambling stories unless they specifically ask for the extended version. Remember, the goal is to be understood, and sometimes that means keeping things short, sweet, and to the point. Now this next tip is all about body language. You know those nonverbal cues that can sometimes speak louder than words? Think about it. A smile, a nod, a furrowed brow. These little gestures can completely change the tone of a conversation. It's like that saying goes, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. When you're communicating with someone, pay attention to your body language. Are you making eye contact? Do you have an open and approachable posture? Are you using hand gestures to emphasize your points, without getting too carried away, of course? These nonverbal cues can make a big difference in how your message is received. So relax, uncross your arms, and smile. A little bit of positive body language can go a long way in creating a more welcoming and engaging conversation. Last but not least, don't be afraid to ask for feedback. That's right, I'm talking about asking people how you can improve your communication skills. Now I know this can be a little scary. It's like asking someone to critique your dance moves. You're putting yourself out there. But here's the thing, constructive feedback is incredibly valuable. It's like having a communication coach in your corner, helping you identify your strengths and areas where you can improve. So, how do you ask for feedback? Just be direct and honest. After a conversation, you could say something like, hey, I'm really trying to work on my communication skills. Do you have any feedback for me on how I did just now? And remember, be open to what they have to say, even if it's not always easy to hear. You got this. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Remember, communication is a skill that can always be improved. It's like learning a new dance. It takes practice, patience, and maybe a few missteps along the way. But the more you work at it, the better you'll become. Keep practicing these tips. Active listening, empathy, clarity, body language, and asking for feedback, and you'll see a big difference in your communication skills in no time. You'll be connecting with people on a deeper level, acing those job interviews, and maybe even becoming the life of the party, or at least the most articulate guest. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content. And as always, be kind to one another, stay curious, and keep on communicating.